Let's go to work, 'cause I'm tripping. Gotta work on myself, 'cause I'm falling apart. Please wake me up, 'cause I'm slipping. Can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above it all, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all, I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again, yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. I start to believe in myself and life will be sweet again, so sweet again. Above it all, meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all, I never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go, let it go. And I start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again.
Wait, is this on? Hello, how's it going? James True here. Switch it back over here. Hey, wait, it's blank. It's blank with there. Hello, welcome to Monday. Welcome to James True Live. I am live. I am your host, James True. I'm here. You're here. We're here together. I'm not even freaking muted. So what does that tell you? What has happened in this world? Things have been changing so fast. Elon Musk has a black eye. Let's get this out of the way. Elon Musk has a black eye. What does that mean, Jace? What does that mean? Right? What does that mean? Hang on a second. What does that mean? See, part of your little club there, James? Your little black eye club you've been talking about? Little Elon Musk corrupting your little field there? Is that what's going on? First of all, I've shaved. So all you men that are like, hey, I'm not gay, but I like when you fucking shave, man. You don't fucking shave that show. So I was just like, thank you. Appreciate you. I'm so not convinced you're gay. That's important. Glad we got that out of the way. Also, got this weird strawberry thing that happens on my face when I grow a beard sometimes. And when I shave, my face feels so much better. And that's what I've been doing. Plus, I just finished the book. I finally finished this weekend. Yay! applause? Do I have applause? Yay. Yay. Way to go, James. We're proud of you, James. Really. Let's do it again. Way to go, James. Good job. Good job, I guess. Good job, I guess. Yeah. Pretty excited about that. It's in review. You actually could probably buy it right now, but I'm not officially announcing it because I'm afraid I just announced it. Fuck. Oh, God. This is the theme for today. This right here is the theme. I wrote a little t-shirt this morning. A little t-shirt design. That's not it. That's not even close. What are you talking about? Wait a minute. Oh, my goodness. It just screwed up. Wait. Stop. That's yesterday's. This is what I'm going for. I'm going for 958. Little t-shirt design. Please be patient. Please be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. And it's a picture of a cute little dinosaur that I actually got in a slide last time made. And every time I go back to this dinosaur, I'm just like, look at how cute that guy is. He's in there just like, rawr. I am driving a human. He's in his little human robot. You guys didn't know that, did you? That little chickens, ancient, featherless chickens. James, they had feathers. Okay, we'll get to that. But the featherless chickens have climbed inside your brain and are running things. Looking at you. You cute little pterodactylosaur rocky Pecoris. Some of you are like, dinosaurs aren't real. I remember the last time someone told me this. And I like to entertain all kinds of things, especially during Corona. So during Corona, I was just like, okay, sure, dinosaurs aren't real. And there's definitely a lot of fraud in dinosaurs. Huge. The Tyrannosaurus Rex named Sue. Right, multi-million-dollar, probably black market forgery, honestly. Let me tell you how this works, okay, guys? James, is everything a lie? No, not everything's a lie. I'm sorry it's not that easy. Some of you are like, everything's a hoax, let's fucking do this right! I'm just like, look, it's not that easy. I'm sorry, you gotta fucking do more homework, okay? You can't just phone in the phone ends, okay? A long time ago, before the phone was invented, and you were to phone it in, I would have been impressed, all right? But everybody's got phones now. It's not such a big deal, okay? Yeah, I agree, Linz. Dinosaurs are dragons, and dinosaurs, our myths of dragons probably came from some dinosaur heads. I think a lot of the confusion is fish. A lot of us have attributed ancient marine fish found in the middle of a dry area. And I think people were kind of like, holy fuck, this thing used to wander the desert. This is what I personally think happened. So you're like looking at giant aquasaurs. Yeah, aquasaurs. This is James True. If I want to fucking call underwater dinosaurs aquasaurs, I'm going to fucking do it. All right? Looking at you. Please be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. Rawr. It'll maybe say that on the back. Maybe it'll go rawr. Rawr light. You know, it's the beer of dinosaurs. Trying to keep their waist trim. And dinosaurs had to civilize. They had to develop a marsupial. They were like, we're going to invent something. And people were like, what are we going to call it? Let's call it marsupial. And they did. They invented a marsupial coating. A coating so thick that they're able to hold their own heat, their own body temperature. You know what I'm saying? It's the ability to shiver inside of yourself. Was invented by the reptile. The reptile didn't have this. They had to fucking come up with it. They had to build all the plumbing for this. It's just kind of like heated floors. A lot of you are like, oh, I'm going to grow up and have heated floors. Oh, can't wait to have heated floors. Oh, here I go. I've got heated floors. Hey, man, you going to do your house, but you're not going to put in heated floors? What's wrong with you, brah? You're not paying attention? Maybe you need to do some little soul searching, huh? Go a little yoga retreat. Maybe you'll come back and be all like, oh, we have to have heated floors. We have to have heated floors. And personally, I would fucking love heated floors. But honestly, I just think it'd be cool as fuck if I could put a marble on my floor and it wouldn't roll away. I think that'd be amazing. Not all of us can get what we want. You know why? Because please be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. Roar. How many times am I going to go this slide? I don't know. It was not part of my plan. I just found myself doing it. I was like, this morning, I was like, I got to prep for the show. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to put this dinosaur in a t-shirt. And that's what I do, fellas. Looking at you ladies too. That's what I do. That's what we do around here. That's why you're here. You know why you're here. And you know what? I'm not muted, which is pretty cool. So yeah, let's get Elon out of the way. Not that we don't have to get him out of the way. Elon, either a serum update or Baron got given a chance for a goodbye clip as an initiate. Yes, Martin Weir, I agree. Black eye clip, real quick. I don't think you can get punched in the eye and not flinch. Not because you're not tough. I actually think if you could not flinch, I think you just have a neurological disease, honestly. I think you'd have some sort of like reflex problem. Some of you might be like, oh, that makes him super... He will go into the octagon. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's really an advantage. I actually think your reflex, the fact that you have a reflexology is like really important. I would bet that even the most trained fighter actually kind of enjoys knowing that there's a reptile that's always looking out for them. So the whole idea of you're going to stand here, Elon, and take a punch to be in our club has never really resonated with me. But not that everyone else is like, that's what it is. But that's sort of like the Black Eye Club, like the kindergarten level of what this thing means. I still find it fascinating. I always have. And I look deeper. There's actually a few eye procedures that you actually can have done that it's very common for you to emerge with a black eye. Just going to say that. So a lot of you just lost your little heart on and you're like, oh my God, I just went limp shades. Why'd you do that? And this is why I'm not super popular, because I don't like lead the show with like, oh my God, this is why the Pope got fucking punched. You know, he got punched. He had to wear his no clothes. He had to wear like a thong. He wore like a jockstrap. And he had to hold his jockstrap up to his nuts and not move. And he got punched in front of a giant room of people wearing black with their faces covered in a lot of stone architecture, a lot of cathedral-esque ceiling going on. They're slaves. They're slaves there, but they're just not in the room. They're not in the room for the secret ceremony, right? So the slaves are there, they got their bright titties on. They're, wandering around, going, oh my God, we're slaves. Oh no, what are we going to do? Oh no, oh, someone take a video and release it on Instagram. Oh no, we've been exposed. Oh my God. And yeah, this actually sounds good. Let's do a show like this. I was once I should have put a little weight here. I'm going to ruin it. You're going to think I'm making this up. Let's do a little breather. Little clap. Please be patient. God is not finished with me yet. We'd like to bring out our first guest, Kyle Rifkin. Hello, I'm Kyle. I survived a satanic underlord plot. I was groomed by men in the satanic realm, taught the intricate ways of mind control, asked to go out and present myself as one of them and lead them astray until I found the way. Until I found anarchy. Now I will teach it to you. I am the one who got away. I am the one who knew, but now knows more. I am the one who knows more and got away from the most elite, yet still I'm somehow able to survive on a YouTube channel and require your super chats now. Oh, I'm dying. There's no super chats. Oh, I'm dying. Oh, but death will bring me more black eyes because I have been reborn in the cult of the Museum of Central Park. Yes, the ancient Egyptian museum brought forth by the Vanderbilts and placed in the MoMA, the Museum of Momosity in Central Park. It's placed right there. The oldest gates can be used, and we will sacrifice and have our virgin birth and let forth the child of Elon to take over the world because he's able to interplanetarily connect with the reptilian overlords. The reptilian overlords. Please be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. And they're driving around humans like bumper cars, these guys. These reptilians are driving around bumper cars. They're just like, yeah, we got human bumper cars. Human bumper cars. Warm-blooded bumper cars. First we invented bumper cars, then we made them warm-blooded. This is what the reptiles did, but they don't exist. There's no such thing as dinosaurs. They've never been here before. I actually have a show. What am I fucking doing? I am so sorry. I actually have a show. Today. I wanted to talk about the addictive nature of peculiarity. Oh, but I got to get through Musk. Oh gosh. So there's probably a conscious lens called aperture. It's inside your brain. It's probably tied to the amygdala. It's more like routed into the thalamus. Probably the hippocampus has a lot to do with it. It's not even fair to just limit it to the amygdala. I call it the amygdala because most of you, if you go to Wikipedia, you're going to find it's the fear center of the brain. All this stuff's wired in tandem. You're not going to be able to isolate one and let go of the other. It's just not going to fucking happen, all right? So just let go of it. Anyway, if you were to inject something into the eye that was interesting, the closest thing that I've been able to find is if you could induce albinism into the backward retinal wall, the epithelial retinal layer, I believe, might be the term that you would call this. EPM is actually another pretty popular term. There are melanocytes stuck in this wall. There are light bulbs, opsin detectors, little fans that spread their wings like lily pads, and those lily pads are actually sunk into the swamp of melanin that's either clear on a clear day or it's cloudy when you're afraid. When the amygdala says, you will be cloudy, you're looking at too much. And the inner dinosaur that lives inside of you, hello there, this is me, I'm still inside. Oh, wait, that's the wrong slide. But the little dinosaur that says, please be patient, God hasn't finished me yet, is living inside of you and has created this limbic cockpit that's wired completely to him. And because he's wired completely to it, he's instantly aware of all these other signals, but he's also kind of vulnerable. He's vulnerable because these signals could literally just burn him out. If you're in a room and things were to go bright and your eyes would not adjust, you would just be in a white room, right? All you would see is white, or what we would call white, brightness, just burning sensation. You wouldn't be able to navigate. So you have to be able to kind of slow or dim the room, even though it's not dim. But consciousness works the same way. I'm not saying that light works this way. I know you and I think the eyes work this way. It's actually not your eyes. It's actually your consciousness. Your consciousness works this way. So if you were to find someone that was getting an injection only in one of their eyes, and this injection could somehow install a kind of albinism in the eye, then what it would do through this optical albinism, because there's ocular albinism, there's all kinds of different ones, but this one particular kind would therefore kind of bypass or dopaminergically starve the melanocytes in your retinal wall and just stop feeding you. Stop shutting off what you would see. If you could do this, but then also stimulate the body into a fight-flight response where it has to move, it would then have to open its conscious receptors in order to survive, but it would still have the albinism that would refuse to shut the drapes. It would cause this brightness to exist, not in an anatomical way, but in a conscious way of the mind. That your mind would be able to behold, entrance, placate, see, and understand all of reality despite the fact that it fucking terrorizes you. So how would you not enter into fright-flight? And the key is it's only in one eye. Your eyes are actually really complex in the way they're split. Not only do you have a macular vision in the front, sort of like a perceptual vision that focuses on your focal, your fovea, all the coloring or the focus of your eye, but you have a peripheral, but it's even more complex than that because you have a top and then a bottom, and that these tops and bottoms are crisscross, from the 80s, crisscross, and these crisscrosses happen inside this chiasm, and this chiasm just kind of splinters it in all these different ways. The purpose of you going into the optic nerve just in one eye is because you're trying to affect the afferent nerves that come in through the optic wall down into your Plato's cave and tell the retinal wall to shut off, and only do this in the right side of the brain. I don't know how you would only do this in the right side of the brain. I think there's a way. I think it's because I'm just too ignorant, quite frankly. I'm trying. I didn't go to neuro college, I didn't go to St. Catherine's of Neuroses, the neural college. I didn't go there. I don't know this stuff. I'm doing as best I can with the tools that I have. So how does this relate to Elon Musk? I need you to understand that in order for a nation to hold a collective together, it has to be a church. It has to have a temple that has a higher steeple than any other. It doesn't have to be like physically, it's more of like a metaphorical kind of a thing. But the archetype of what makes the steeple inside of America is actually Egyptian. Most of our obelisks, the Washington Monument, of course, but even the bicameral layout of the house itself really does harken back to this conceptual worship of Babylon or Isis, okay? We even have the ISS. What is the ISS? It's literally just the steeple of America. It's just the highest sort of like tangible part of our country, and it's higher than any other, or so we claim. And because it's higher, it allows people to believe. This is just the concept of a megachurch incorporated into piracy, which has then been kind of smoothed through, thank God for the principle of Stockholm Syndrome, that this principle of piracy is kind of congealed into a gelatinous state that you and I call government. And we're just like, hey, we're not hostages, we're citizens. That's what we are. We're not forced to pay 40% of our life force into a psychopathic realm of pirates. Those are elected officials. They're elected officials. Yeah, they're kind of bad. They're sort of shady. But hey, who isn't? Am I right? Am I right? So, because we live in this cult church that we call government, it becomes necessary to install steeples, and honestly, because of all the psychopaths that have come before, each steeple kind of gets fucked by the previous generation, because the last generation will actually just lie about that steeple. And then here you are in charge, and you're like, well, fuck, how do I restore truth? If I restore truth, I have to lower the steeple. I have to tell people, yeah, this shit ain't right. And I'm not going to do that. Burning Man will burn. Wicker Man burns every year. Wicker Man burns every year. We are communists even though we're free thinkers. Do not question the ways of Burning Man. But this druidic cult is really just the same. It's saturated in the government. And so from time to time, you need to build a lie that's higher than the other, especially if your lie is suffering from a little thing called photographic evidence. Looking at you, NASA, that when you have photographic evidence that starts to allow the church members to kind of see through the bullshit, one way you could fix it is tell the truth. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. I've tried that many times. Doesn't work. But one way to fix it is you tell the truth. And everyone's like, hey, I want the truth. Hey, I want the truth. And everyone's like, hey, I know it's tough, but I really want the truth. That's one way. That is one way to try this. That is one way to skin the banana. You know what I mean? And then there's like a way that actually works. The way that actually works is a utilitarian mindset, which is just, well, what are we going to do? It's like, well, people want to believe in a fucking steeple, so we need to make another steeple. So you invent SpaceX. But you don't just invent it. You actually have someone who brings it to you. You have a fraudster that understands, or doesn't even necessarily understand. It's just so defrauded themselves that they don't really care if the government is a fraud too. In fact, they look at this as a kind of like union. And this is how pirates merge. Pirates can trust each other under the principles of blackmail. Be the only purpose that you could do that. Be the only thing you could do that is if all of us were lying in the same way, we can kind of trust each other because we have mutual destruction. That's all. Each of us are carrying a suicide switch for everyone else. And Elon Musk has shown up with a giant fucking rocket and said, hey, I can suicide you guys all. I could fucking say that the NASA program was a fake. I could say that. Or you could let me in. You could let me in. And why would he want in? Because he's defrauded so many other people that he's run. He's been exiled, right, from the truth. And he's had to come to the next place. And in order to be indoctrinated in there, they're going to take his idea and place it on top of the other, which gives the other actually more legitimacy. Why? Because we're just moving on. As long as everyone moves on, then everything that came before it is now legitimate simply by it just made it. It made it in the record books. This is how truth works, baby. This is how truth works. This is why when I show you things like this, and I show you, please be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. We are reptiles living in the skin is what we do. So how does that work with the eye? I think you're just looking at a giant blackmail farm. That's all. No big whoop, right? No big whoop. And yeah, there's a lot more about the eye, about how it works. You can check out my book, Black Eye Club, because it actually explores this idea more. It talks about clones, talks about albinos, talks about the future, talks about ancient computers. There's a lot there. Let's go move on. The Addictive Nature of Peculiarity by James True. Ding! Peculiarity, I've told you this before, really does outrank a lot of other things. A lot of other things have been outranked because of it. Quite a lot. And we're going to discuss those. First of all, I want you to think about all the layers of awareness. So I've told you this word gestalt a lot, but instead of just saying the word gestalt and expecting you to get it, I want you to consider that you are consciously aware. You have the immediate attention and perception, but you are subconsciously, preconsciously aware. You have accessible memories and habitual actions. Breathing is one of those. Taking a sip of coffee is one of those. Unconscious mind is one of those. Deep memories, repressed emotional drives, collective unconscious, not just your unconscious, but the fact that you know what a spoon is, and so does this other guy you've never met. That's weird. You guys are both conscious of a conceptual hypothetical, which is really fascinating. Then you have somatic bodily mind, the embodied intelligence we've talked about a lot. Physical memory, the somatic memory. Then you have emotional mind, feelings and emotional resonance. Then you have cognitive mind, your logical reasoning, your analytical thought. And then finally, you have your transcendental mind, this humanity spirit, this Gaia flow state. You don't need to memorize these. It's not important. It's the purpose is to see there's all these different layers. There's thermoclines of you beneath thermoclines of you, and you tap into each of them. And none of them are necessarily you, but all of them are definitely missing if you leave out a few of them. And this really is more important in reference to who you are, how it works. So who you are and how it works, this is the science of it, because it really comes down to these dimensions. You have a reward intensity. It's true. If we were to open your engine and I was to show you, hey, if you pull this butterfly valve, or if you squeeze this idler, or if you pull this little cord, the engine's going to rev. That's all. And you have these. You have at least 5. There are many, but for the purpose of the discussion, one of those is you have a reward intensity. How powerfully rewarding or pleasurable an experience feels when you're doing it. This is a complex feeling. Are people who I want to be proud of me watching me? Or people who I want to be proud of me, am I telling them about this? Do I approve? Can I verify this? Is someone verifying me? Am I being verifiable? Am I helping? Am I creating? Am I donating? Am I volunteering enough? Are people volunteering enough to me? That the reward intensity of any action is just one of many components. The next part of the component, believe it or not, is novelty. The degree to which something feels fresh, unpredictable, or surprising. That the mundanity of a task, even if it's eating pizza, even if it's bicycling, it's one thing to bicycle 20 miles. It's quite another to bicycle 3,000 miles. It's just different. The novelty quotient changes the longer or the shorter you do something. The frequency and predictability of it. How often rewards occur, but more importantly, how often they're predictable. There's a very specific ratio. We've discussed this ratio when I've talked to you about dopamine as a casino in your mind. That the thalamus forces you to gamble because it knows if you gamble, you save electricity. That you can actually make more money by gambling, believe it or not, because it's able to exert more influence over you or agency over you because you're so much more empowered by the fact that you won versus by the fact that you earned something, although they're both very, very equal scores here. The ease of access. How quickly can you go get this fixed? Do you really have to travel all the way to India and sit in a cave, sit outside for 4 weeks, to hopefully wait for some guy that wipes his own bottom with the palm of his hand come in and tell you that he's ready to show you the sacred breath? How often does that happen? How much is it going to take? What about those worms? What about the being sick just from travel? Right? How easy is this? Then there's the relief from discomfort. Most of us function on this level. There's nothing wrong with this, but truly, most people will find, or at least in the past before Corona, most people have found existence to be discomfortable. And because of their discomfortableness, yeah, that's a word, that because of their discomfortableness that they found that they have actually lived most of their lives on simply avoiding it. So distractions are very, very effective at this. The ability to dangle and jingle keys before the mind is a crucial skill, right? It's an important part of a nuanced diet, right? It's important. Excuse me for clearing my throat in the mic there. So these dimensions could be seen scientifically as dopamine variability, cognitive tension, yes, tension, physiological arousal, symbolic resonance, right? You know who I'm talking to. And narrative momentum. I swear to you, if you could like visualize this with me, you would find that there are 5 gears that I swear, 5 gears. There's a gear shift. You have 5 gears, and those 5 gears make you go. It's really the only thing. It's the entirety of reality could be summarized in this way. And a lot of you think dopamine is a pleasure chemical. I've got no beef with that, but it's actually more of an access chemical. It's you and I don't like, oh, we're going to go get gas, and then you fill up your car with gas and you're happy. That's not actually how it works. Dopamine is the same way. The gas itself doesn't really bring you joy. It gives you access to places that you did not have before. This is why I think we live in a cash society. Our cash-based, not just cash in the sense of like bills, but in a transactional society. Our transactional society, in my opinion, quite frankly, is an hallucination of the Osiris nature of who we truly are. The hallucination of the cellular colony that exists. That you are inside broadcasting into a nucleus, one of the most complex the cell itself, one of the most complex organizations in this world, also one of the tiniest, but by far one of the most complex, something we still do not understand. It has girders that are invisible. Invisible girders made out of transparency, cytoskeletal frameworks, scaffolding that's built all over the internal nature of your cellular wall that you can't even fucking see, that gives your universe shape, that stops it from squishing, that stops that. And that inside of that shape, you are not even on the outer edge. Excuse me, you've never even been to the outer edge of your cell wall. You've never made it, ladies and gentlemen. You've broadcasted your assemblage point. You've sent it out to that way. But the truth is that even your assemblage point is just a cursor. It's not who you are. It's how you parse the world. And if you were to look at, well, James, what does this fucking cursor look like? And I'm like, you don't have to cuss because it looks like this. It's 5-axis mouse. It's a 5-axis dimensional mouse. Guys, there's nothing wrong with this. Some of you are going to be like, well, I'm going fucking pure determinism from all this because you're just a chemical equation. But I'm telling you that your ability to assemble and to move your focus is all the free will you need. Your ability to move your focus is all the free will you need, which is why I think it's more important that you do understand these things, that you do accept the determinism that comes with them, because you will find that these 5 needs are the gears that get you to the lake. They are not the lake. They drive you to the lake where you find friends and you get on a boat and you listen to old school Boston and you go out and you're water skiing in front of the dam and there's catfish as big as cars and there are members that you find attractive on that boat. And you guys are showing a lot of skin. And the entire thing was brought to you by weeks and months of plotting and planning. And you never even give yourself credit for that. You never even say, I traveled here, I came here, I packed up my stuff, I made this happen. And you made it happen because you saw the dimensionality as being something that you could achieve, that you saw that the physiological, the symbolic, the narrative, the cognitive, and the dopaminergical gearing was correct, and you could get here to this place. Most of marketing, most of advertising, most of sales already knows this. They know you better than you do. And this makes sense because when you put out your cellular signals, you're not outside to receive them. You're too busy receiving other signals from others. And you learn about yourself, don't you? but you never actually truly apply. What am I sending out? More importantly, you never really step into the power of, I can just move my assemblage. I can say, I'm at home. It's Friday night. Miami Vice is on. I'm 15 years old. I've been told by my parents I'll never have a car. I'll never be given the ability to drive unless I do it myself. And you suddenly feel distraught. You feel displaced. You feel that you're missing something. And Philip Michael Tubbs and Don Johnson are driving around in a Testarossa. It's a kit car. It's a fucking fake Ferrari. They get sued for it. But still, you don't know that. You're fucking too naive. You don't know what's going on. You just know that you can feel it coming in the air tonight. And you're there alone in your home and you're like, this life is not good enough. I need more. And you decide I can steal my mom's car and I can drive it and I can turn it over in a ditch. And then I could be grounded and then all college taken away from me. Have my entire adult life changed from a decision I made during Miami Vice. This is all hypothetical. I'm just making this up. But that this situation would be just part of these gears where part of your brain insists this is not good enough. And quite frankly, you should be proud of yourself. You broke the law. You broke the bounds which kept you. You insisted you would not be tamed. You're a wild horse, baby. They write songs about you. They write songs about this stuff. Right? So all of these are actually, I think, like almost like ponds or puddles that you as a fish would leave this puddle and jump out and say, fuck this, I need more. And you would go to another. It's like me shaving. It's like, I don't give a shit. My face is strawberry. I'm going to fucking shave my face. Things happen like this, guys. It happens like this. You know why? Please be patient. God isn't finished with me yet. Roar. That's why. You're a lizard living inside a mammalian skin that you learned how to heat and cool. You installed central heat and air inside of your cellular wall. What's the fucking difference? What's the difference? Both of you are being controlled by a snake called your genes, giant Quetzalcoatl, swallowing everything that you do, telling you exactly who you are the entire time. You're just along for the ride. Nothing wrong with that. Who's really in control? No one. What's wrong with that? So what? So what? Why do you need someone to be in control? What if everyone was like, oh, who's in control? I don't know. Who's in control? Who's in control? What if all of us insisted, made the assumption that there has to be someone in control, and I know it's not me because if I do this, people don't come or whatever, or do this, or you know. So you just insist someone has to be in control. What if everyone was insisting someone had to be in control, but there's no one in control? What if that's what's happening? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. By God. By God, that's what's happening. The difference, we don't want to admit it. So what? No big whoop. Whoop, whoop. No big. So who's really in control? The answer is no one. I just gave it away. But you can see these layers of the mind. We discussed this last time, but think about all these different places you could be. The reptilian brain. I'm surviving. I'm surviving. Roar. Roar. Me chicken. Me grow big. Me never be taken over and put inside KFC. Roar. Me grow. Me run world. Me not afraid nothing. Me no need warm-blooded. Me live in tropical climate. Me have no pronouns. Me pronouns are me and me. And then you have this limbic system. Now you built this emotional memory stuff. The reptile remembers. Me used to be sad. Me happier now that sun warm. Me think sun make me happy. You added the complex. The reptilian added a closet on themselves called memory. And it was all downhill from there. The moment he started remembering what happened to him is the moment he started to realize I have to fucking add a lot of shit here. If I'm remembering what happened to me, I really stubbed my toe on that rock. I don't want that to happen again. Do you know how hard it is when you got a giant fucking Tyrannosaurus claw and you stub it on a rock like that? Oh, God, that hurt. Oh, that hurts. Oh, I can feel it right now. It's throbbing. Pain is information. There's a video about this. Pain is information, says the reptile, but he doesn't know. He doesn't even have colors. Doesn't even think of colors. He's really just got heat and no heat. That hot, that not hot. Me go to hot thing, swallow hot thing. Me just ate hot rock. Me should develop mammalian memory so we not stop eating hot rock, because when me poop rock, it burn. It hurt. Me hurt. Me not poop rock no more. Me develop mammalian complex. And so you build these systems on top of yourself. But you can't just get away with a limbic system because you're going to have to fucking reason through all that stuff. So you have no choice but to develop some sort of cortex. It doesn't even have to be a neo. You literally just need a fucking cortex. But then you need a neocortex who's going to look at the actual code, look at the things that are actually happening inside the system. But then you're still not done because you're going to have this default mode. This default mode network is a ontological decision that everyone inside of you makes that says, hey, you know what? We're just going to be a bear. We're just going to be a baker. We're just going to be a lawyer. Or it's going to be an insurance adjuster. Or I'm just going to be a psychopath. That you set this default mode network and you just go to town. And you epigenetically pass this down. You're like, hey, I got an idea. You should be a baker. That's why your last name's Baker. You should be a smith. Why? Because if you be a smith and you work metal and you bang this hammer, then you will have more warm nights. Therefore, your default mode is born and it literally grows on you, and it's called a last name, your surname. Your surname grows on you because of this. And then you have your executive function, your task management, right? So on top of your default mode, I'm a baker, you have, I'm a baker who does taxes. Holy fuck. A dinosaur turned himself into a baker and then pay taxes. This is why I say, please be patient. God has not finished me yet, because we are at the phase where the dinosaur has created the mammalian bumper car and then decided to get a job and pay taxes. His choice. James, we've been enslaved. The dinosaur's not buying that. Dinosaur's been playing this too long. He's not buying that. He's not. So while you're working on things, you have this phonological loop. You can play a song in your head while you do it. You can juggle, pretend to be a mammal, the whole time being a reptile, pretending to have a job. And not only can you pretend to have a job, you can pretend to be paying your taxes. And while you're doing all those, you can whistle a fucking song. You can take a look ahead. Da, 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 take a look ahead. I don't know if you know this or not, but Tyrannosaurus Rex is actually made for water skiing. I know many of you may find that confusing because water skiing does take a lot of upper arm strength. But keep in mind that the arms of a T-Rex work more kind of like how raptors do, where if you just extend your arm, it just closes. And then if you unextend, it opens. So it's not really a matter of like grip strength. There's really no such thing because extension is grip strength. I'm just going to go with this. But this is why they really are made for water skiing. A lot of us don't know this. So you're singing a song while you're playing taxes, while you're pretending to be an insurance adjuster. And the whole time you're just a chicken who underneath is a fucking dinosaur, and people think you don't exist. People insist you don't exist, yet you're still in charge of the world because you're the evil reptile running it all. This is life. This is incorrect. You are the reptilian overlord running the whole fucking thing. You are so far away from yourself that you have to put them on Zeta Reticuli 6 trillion light years away because you can't fathom the fact that you're a fucking reptile pretending to be a chicken, pretending to have a job, pretending to play his taxes while he sings Boston the whole time. This is why. And what are you doing? You're watching James Drew. What am I? Another fucking dinosaur. Probably a Tyrannosaurus. I mean, probably not Tyrannosaurus Rex. Probably a Triceratops. Just being honest. Just being honest. I'm probably a Triceratops inside a mammal costume, pretending to have a job, pretending I don't even pay taxes. T-Rex, triceps, like I don't fucking. I'm not eating no. I'm a vegetarian. Why am I gonna do that? Right? I am a giraffe that took a wrong turn. And you do what you can. We all do, but then on top of this, you have the imagination. You could escape all this place. The entire time, you've built up all these different layers. And on the second to top layer, you've built a escape hatch, a sunroof. A sunroof on top of your consciousness that you can pack out of and just start visually dreaming. Just be like, fuck this place. I got a visuospatial sketch pad. I'm going to pretend like I'm drawing new plants. I'm drawing new plants from a cabin that has underground floor heat. 'Cause I'm so hip, I got under the floor heating, yeah. And you're just spatially sketching that. You don't care. You're watching reruns of what's happening. And you're like, I'm watching a rerun of rerun. How many people here get this? Probably not a lot. But if all I need is one, Aquasaur for the win. And on top of all this, you have a transcendent metacognitive layer. The transcendent metacognitive layer. This is on top of all this imagination. Guys, listen to this. On top of your imagining, that's on top of you playing a fucking song in your head. So on top of your imagining that you're on a beach, you're listening to Boston, right? And you're paying taxes, you know, we'll just say that. You're pretending to pay tax. You're telling everyone around you, I got to pay taxes. And then underneath that, you're an employee. You're working somewhere. And then underneath that, you're this mammalian complex that has this cortexual false understanding of analyzing only the memories that it recalls. And then underneath that, you're a friggin' dinosaur, just like, yeah, I want elbows. And this whole thing, you're just like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And you know the answer. The answer is because it feels good. The answer is that there is a saturation in all 8 of these layers, including the top one, which I haven't gone over yet. This transcendental metacognitive layer is your vision of you. Your ability to step outside your own cursor and to look at it and to go, wow, look at me move. And the meta-awareness, the mindfulness of it, the shame, the pride, all these things are intricate dopaminergic insertions that keep you planted in your reef, keep you planted there. In order for you to be planted there, you're going to have a behavioral brain image data set that shows the focus, shows how it works. One of the most fascinating diseases that I have come across personally. Okay, there's a lot of fascinating diseases, but one of them that I find really interesting is fibromyalgia. Chronic condition characterized by widespread pain, as well as numerous symptoms related to central sensitivity, fatigue, cognitive disturbances, constipation, diarrhea, sensory hypersensitivity. It's that sensory hypersensitivity that I find so interesting. This hypersensitivity, I feel like I've actually experienced this lately. I don't feel like I suffer, but it really drives me nuts sometimes. The certain fabrics will feel extremely too sensitive when I touch them, especially at the tips of my fingers, especially on the tips of my toes, the front, the grill of my fingers and my toes. It's like that. And I believe this is a dopaminergic response. I believe that my dinosaur inside my chicken, inside my baker, inside my doing taxes, inside my listen to Boston, inside my daydreaming while he's on an island, is now developing fibromyalgia in order to insert myself into the moment, in order to place myself further into my body. It's almost like an anchor. That you have these limbic anchors that you need. I didn't say you want. I said you need them because if you remove activity from yourself, you die. It's true. But James, all the greatest metaphysical thinkers insist we must destroy the ego and stop doing things. And I'm telling you, they're full of fucking shit. First of all, if you meditate, fucking hats off to you. I think you're doing something. I don't think you're not doing something. I think you're doing something. I think you're telling yourself you're not doing anything else, and that's great, but I think you're doing something. It's kind of like a plank isn't technically doing anything, right? You're just holding a plank. So I hope you can forgive me here, but I want you to really pay attention to the fact that our actionless action actually kills us. The principle of wu-wei, or wu-wei, sorry. Oh my God, make sure you pronounce it right. But the principle of wu-wei suggests that this actionless idea is better for you. And according to your brain, it's not. It actually leads to atrophy. You actually fucking die. Your brain starts to shrink and atrophy because you are not fully engaged. You're not fully inserted into the world. I think this is what most of us who are called problem people, looking at you, everyone who watches me, this is why we are considered problems, because we will not accept a lower, a tepid kind of existence, so to speak. And so if people are not willing to give us an authentic, deep root, we will fucking create it out of thin air because we're creatrixes. We are dinosaurs living inside of chickens, pretending to be beggars, pretending to pay our taxes, listening to Boston while we daydream about being on a tropical island. It's not that hard, guys. Keep it together. But when you trace what actually is interesting, it's actually not interesting. The interesting is not what makes things interesting, my friends. There's a science to what is interesting. The figures on the right are boring as fuck. You've got a C, you've got a plus, you've got a minus, you've got an S, you've got a backwards S. That's it. That's all you get. These figures are slowly introduced in a time-sensitive way. 200 milliseconds, a dot moves. 1,000 milliseconds, a dot changes to a square. 30 milliseconds in, it changes and you start to see these shapes. And that these low demand targets and high demand targets is actually all it takes in order for you to achieve dopamine. That the tracking of something, no matter how meaningless, no matter how graphically unrich it is, no matter how debilitating it is when it comes to all the other senses, is still just enough to keep you alive. And I want you to consider that your brain will only stay alive if it has something to process, if it has something to chew on. It's chewing, it's chewing, it's chewing, it's constantly chewing. And it has to chew because it has to earn dopamine. It has to earn dopamine so it can spend it. Some of you may find yourself lazy sometimes where you just, I can't be motivated to do anything. And you might think it's, well, because doing something doesn't sound like fun. And check it out. Doing something actually is more fun. You do not have enough dopamine to even consider that having more fun would feel better. I swear to you. And all you can do is track how many calories it would take. And you're starting to look at your jumpstart, the dopamine it requires to jumpstart you, to get you off. Typically, it's going to be a giant lie. You'll tell yourself a lie in bed that it has just enough oomph to kind of get over it. So you'll look at the circuit. It says, hey, this refrigerator runs on 10 amps, but how come when I plug it in, it shoots the breaker? And it's because just to start it, just that first start, only the first time, just the very, very first time it comes on, it takes 15 amps. That's all. That's all. And so you find yourself stalled on the couch, and it's the same reasons. If you were to have a conversation with yourself, an honest conversation, and when I say honest, I don't mean talk shit about yourself. I literally mean an honest conversation about just how expensive dopamine is. I think that you'd find more dopamine as you're doing this, and you'd feel better, that you'd be able to notice, wait a minute, this is my brain not having enough dopamine to process that I could give it more dopamine. And then once you give it more dopamine, you will instantly feel better, and it doesn't take much. This is a donkey, this ritual, these C's and C pluses and C minuses. This is you giving the donkey something to do. This is why cows chew grass. This is why cows have 8 stomachs or 5 stomachs. They need something to do. If they didn't have something to do, they would atrophy. This is why society, the government says you have to have a job. It does that It does that because it's an evil overlord that met underneath a pit and had a black orgy, and then all these other people came and they had all this stuff. But it also helps you because if you stay busy, if you have a task, if you feel that you have to pay your rent, believe it or not, you're happier cattle. You're actually happier. James, no one's doing this to make me happy. I get it, but you don't understand how dopamine works because they do. Government would not control you if you were not happy. Stop fucking saying that. That they need the formula in order to keep you giving them resources. They have to have it. Why? Because you are an Osiris cell living inside of others. And stop being so stingy. You want the world to have your energy. You want it. You have to learn to give it freely. What's bothering you is that you feel you're not giving it freely. And that's a dopaminergic thing you do to yourself because you're listening to Miami Vice on Friday night. And you don't have a car and you're drinking milk. You feel lame as fuck. And it's, again, a hypothetical situation. And you just feel like you just want more out of your life. So greater happiness, clearer focus, healthier brain chemistry comes from actually doing something. From when get a job means be happier. This is a pupil diameter tracing on the right here. 2 different scenarios, high demand, low demand, meaning you have a task or you don't have a task. The higher task you have, the high demand task you have, the more heroin your body gets, the more juice, the more casino chips it gets because you're working. It's not the opposite. This is not about, Oh, well, I have to use more brain in order to survive, therefore I should stop processing. Believe it or not, your brain is incredibly efficient when it comes to calories. And here's the downside. In order for the brain to be incredibly efficient at saving calories, it has to be awful at idling, and it is. Your brain is horrible at idling. Horrible. You know what an air-cooled engine is? Many of you don't. It's an engine that doesn't have a radiator. A water-cooled engine is allowed to idle. You can pull it into town. You can come up to a stoplight. You can sit there for 30 minutes, just idling. Air-cooled engine, you can't do that. If you sit there for 30 minutes, your pistons are going to seize. They're going to seize. They're going to melt into the side, right? Difference between warm-blooded and cold-blooded. Looking at you, dinosaurs, pretending to be mammals, pretending to have a job, pretending to... I'm not going to do it again, but you get it. All these things are part of that. This is all part of that. Hello, Amel. Good to see you. Oh, good to see all you guys. Hope you guys are doing good. So... why is peculiarity scoring so high? And where do you come up with these scores, James? And why is the brain licking itself? Is it because peculiarity is higher than curiosity and curiosity is higher than comfort? This is the actual quotients of this. Remember the 5-tiered scale that I told you about where there's like these 5 different gears that you have limbically? Well, you can fucking track those in a functional MRI. And when you track those, you learn something very, very, very interesting. What's at the bottom of the scale? It's the word comfort. Low novelty, soothing, poor at holding attention. Comfort. Comfort scores you the least amount of dopamine. What the fuck? But I thought the whole point was to retire early and then live out my dreams and happiness. And what happens? People retire and they die like 3 months later. Why do they die? Because they atrophy. Why do they atrophy? Because they have comfort now. I've told you this is rich man's disease. I've told you what it might feel like to be stuck in a house where all the molding is done, where all the carpet is perfect, where the screen door keeps all the leaves out of the pool. That what if that was fucking torture? That what if having that kind of existence where every day you get up, it is 68 degrees because the fucking thermostat was put in correctly. And that every single piece of molding, every single piece of flooring, the ceramic tile, everything is absolutely perfect. Is this a happier life? Is it? I question that. I highly question that. Why do they say poor people are happy? Because they live in insane situations. And the insane situation keeps the mind chewing. And when the mind chews, the cud comes through and you gain nutrients because you start to raise yourself out of this pit. Not of discomfort, but of comfort. The pit of comfort. Comfort scores a 2 in addictiveness. Again, this is using those 5 quotients that I told you about. These 5, if you're not sure what I mean, we're going back to these. Dopamine, endorphin, serotonin flow state, neuroplasticity, physical benefits. That all these can be measured. And when you measure them, comfort is at the bottom. What's next? Confusion. Wait a minute. You get more, James, why are you saying you get more dopamine through confusion? I know. But when you're in a confused state, you are generating twice as much dopamine. This is why many people are confused on purpose all the time. What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? This is probably the number one thing that people hear when a cop chases someone. What did I do? What did I do? They're showing you they are burning full tilt. They are trying to be confused because they need that dopamine. They need to make a decision. They got to figure out what they're going to do. What's the next thing they do? If they're confused enough, they can reach disbelief. Boom, now you're 1 point higher. Your mental dissonance, disbelief, causes a dopaminergic spike over twice as much as when you're comfortable. Then you enter nostalgia. Oh my God, what just happened? You don't believe something, yet it's still true. You don't believe something, yet it's still true. This is nostalgia. It's this amazingness, uniqueness of something that you thought was gone, but is really there, but is actually not there because it's gone. And so therefore you feel retroactively how good it is to have it here, even though it's actually not there. But it is there, but it's not there. But it is there, but it's not there. Do you see why it's called a comfort loop? And that's a 6 on the scale. But fear is higher. The yellow belt of fear raises you out of ignorance so that you're prepared for the red belt of anger. This is the blueprints of mind control, the belts of mind control, and fear is right there in the middle. Look how high fear scores, like 7 out of 10. 7. That when you're afraid, you dopaminergically output a lot of money. You spend money. What happens in a small town when there's a murder? Police budget goes up. What happens in your body when you feel afraid? Your body's budget goes up. Tunnel vision on other thoughts. Maybe you turn off the music. You're not listening to Boston. You're just going to pay your taxes. You start to focus and hone. That focusness actually gives you more benefit too. That's why fear's a 7. But then there's awe. Oh my God, we finally have a good. James, finally have a good. Well, nostalgia's good. But yeah, now we finally have some good feelings. Awe, high arousal, mystical but cognitively full. But guess what? Awe is fear. You didn't know that, did you? Awe is fear transmuted into I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe this not butter. I can't believe this is not butter is a state of awe. It's not a state of you fucking trick me, you fucking liar, I'm going to sue you. How dare you? Why are you doing this to me? Why can't we have cows? None of that. It is, I can't believe this is not butter. I can't believe this. What do you call this? Margarine? That's great. I'm fucking amazed. Why? I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of margarine. Who's afraid of menagerie? Menagerie. I am menagerie, the sacred one you should be afraid of because you have awe for it. Then there's the curiosity. Now we're getting into some peak action, folks. Because the awness has been kind of grounded in safety and you enter into an open loop and you're able to truly drive on curiosity itself. Guess what? Curiosity is not actually resolved. It's not. I'll just say cat because some of you guys automatically went there and I know how the brain works. I know how limbically you're there. So I just gave you the word cat so you could feel sort of like, oh, you got it for me. You're welcome. Thanks for watching James True. This open tension of curiosity is something that's caramelized from awe. That it reaches out of the state of awe and you reach this high gear. It's like 5th gear in your car. So you're like, what does that mean? It's like, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. But this 5th gear, James, stop using it. Okay, there's this other thing that you can do that's more efficient, okay? You just don't know it because you drive an automatic. But this curiosity is giving you a 9 out of 10, but it's not resolved. Curiosity is not, here's the answer. A magician does not come out, unless you're Penn and Teller, a magician does not come out and say, here's exactly the trick I'm going to do. The amazingness is the key. The mystery is the key, which is why we enter into peculiarity. 10, peculiarity, bing. The magic, mystical peculiarity. A balanced novelty of comprehension, sitting on the edge of meaning itself. A constant state of this will be revealed, here it is, but not quite. And there's more, and there's more, and there's more. The essence of a serial story, the oldest story told in time was the serial. This next time on the placid Plinkos, I don't know. The Plinkos were a family from Placidica, a nation torn apart by the vibrance of violet versus purple. And inside this intricate labyrinth, they fell in love, hated each other, re-scorned, re-took over, found betrayal, happiness, meaning. All the drama that we have is here to feed us. We're drama mamas. We want to be drama mamas because it feels good. It's why we live in a world where we can't. Why? Because people don't want as much dopamine as they could have. What if that was it? What if people just didn't have as much dopamine as we think they have? This is the scale here. It's showing you how things score on this. As comprehension goes up, as novelty goes up, there's an x-axis of peculiarity, a perfect score. And it's right in there. The closest emotion we can have is this peculiarity. I would say novelty, but novelty I think is strictly a word. The reason why I don't use the word novelty is because novelty is strictly the word new, if you think about it. News itself has a certain novelty, doesn't it? The key to news is that it has to be new. When you ran into the city from Marathon to deliver the king that you've just won, the only reason why you're considered a hero is because it's the first time they heard it. There's a second guy that ran. He's like 6 hours behind him. And he said, hey, we won. And no one gives a shit. No one cares because it's not news anymore. So novelty is different than peculiarity. I hope you can appreciate that. Novelty is just what's new. Peculiar is a very special kind of new. It's a slowly unfolding new that keeps renewing itself. It's a renewal that renews and renews and renews, but it pays and it feeds and it feeds. And you find yourself gathering it like breadcrumbs through the forest. You're looking for the witch going, hey, did you eat your kids? She's like, I would never eat my kids. I would never do that. But you do. You do. Hello, birds outside. Take the ride. Birds outside. Thank you for watching, James True. Appreciate you hanging out. We take the ride. So all these systems our emotional attractiveness index, I think truly are closer to what we tend to go. And there's more, because guess what? Mythic love and transcendence also score 10s. And isn't love just peculiarity? Isn't love just peculiarity? I think it is. I think love is peculiarity perfected into an arrangement. That we don't have a world where we can go, yeah, this is my peculiar. Like, like a familiar. This is someone who we peculiarate each other. Yeah, I just call them up. I just randomly pretend to be someone else. I disguise my voice. And that this is our relationship. And that this is really what love is. I swear to you, this is what love is. We're looking for each other in different situations. How would they deal with this? I'm going to tell them I'm pregnant. I'm going to tell them I wrecked the car. I'm going to tell them that I have this addiction. I'm going to tell them that I love baloney. It's okay. Guys, you probably had baloney when you were little. It's okay. The dopamine, the urges that you got, it's okay. Don't worry about it. You like baloney. Don't worry about it. Some of you have probably rolled a piece of bologna inside of a piece of square, what people would call cheese. And then you rolled it up. That's good. I'm okay with that. It's cold, right? Doesn't require any bread. You're not doing anything stupid. You're not getting a plate out. You're not going to mess up a knife. You're just going to take bologna, wrap a piece of cheese around it. The only things that have been lost here is there's a red rind, right? The wrapper of the bologna, and then the saran wrap of the cheese. That's it. It's nice and clean. No one has to know you are even here. All right? This is why people don't watch me. I have such obscure thoughts like this. If you thought I was making it up, these are those 5 scales. Dopamine variability, cognitive tension, physiological arousal, symbolic resonance, narrative momentum. You can see how each of these scores. It's really fascinating because it really does stimulate a kind of predictability that you could take an activity and have a sort of almost mind meld with how much it would actually pay off. And that this is why I use the word prana economy a lot. It's an underground meta-transactional state where just like you have these 8 different layers of personality, this is why I want to talk about this, that there's a 9th, this prana economy, which is really ultimately you just know what's right for you. You know right now today, here's where I need to get the dopamine that either I want to have or I don't want to have. And we are not living in a life where we think that we would purposely punish ourselves in that dopaminic way. We definitely punish ourselves. I think eventually we'll start to understand that we exhibit cruelties unto ourselves in order to change gears, to slow down, to slip off the interstate of the fast life and to purposely go into another place. That we do that sometimes because it helps us. Some of you might argue, well, why would an 18-wheeler ever go into a giant pile of sand and do that? It's like, because sometimes they go too fast. Sometimes they go too fast and they have to create excuses. What looks like trauma, what looks like self-destruction is actually preservation. So your underground prana economy really does go much further past all this. There's a lot of what you want and do, I think, is really more just related to this narrative level, this subterranean sub-narrative level that happens, this place where you are. You know what I mean? Know what I mean, Vern? Know what I'm saying? If you don't, you should come to Dojo. We're going to have Dojo today at 12:30. Lori's been traveling, but she's going to still mod for us. Looking forward to that. You can find that invite inside of Patreon. If you want to go ahead and get Black Eye Club, you can. I think. Depends on where you are. Make sure it has 216 pages. Last time I published Black Eye Club, it had 109 pages. It now has 216. Did the book double? Not really. It sounds like it did. The reason why I didn't is when I wrote Black Eye Club and Quantum Rapture, I did not know how, I'll just be honest, I didn't know how to write a literary narrative sci-fi. I just knew how to write. And so, or at least I think I know how to write. And so it's a lot of a lot of what in the old book was just like a whole paragraph technically is formatted as like maybe 5 paragraphs because it's like dialogue between different people. I hope you follow what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I just wanted to write a book a long time ago, Black Eye Club. I didn't want to like learn all the safety rules. And I regret that. When I started to rewrite this, I started this rewrite in April. Actually, what happened is I showed it to the AI and it kind of insulted my work. It was kind of like, yeah, this could be a lot better. And I was like, how can it be better? Why did I say, how could it be better? I had enough dopamine. It's the only reason. I had enough dopamine. Why did I have enough dopamine? Because I'm a posturist. Something we talk about all the time here. It's all we talk about. How to find and collect more calories. How to find and collect more dopamine. And 8 weeks later, literally 2 solid months of just serious hard work. Book's been rewritten. I feel like I've gone to school now. I kind of understand what it's like to be a novelist, like a literary novelist, like someone's telling a story. And man, I would love it to know what you think. I would really love to know what you think. So if you want to check that out, you can. If you've bought Black Eye Club in the past on Kindle, I recommend that you delete it and then re-download it. It should be free. You should just get the new book for free. If you bought the paperback, here's what I want you to do. Tonight, I want you to place it between your thighs and sleep. And when you wake in the morning, the new paperback will be there. It could happen. It could happen. Third option, if you want a signed copy, I'm going to be stamping these signed copies with numbers. If you want a signed copy, I do not have that ready yet, but I will. I will have signed copies available if you want that, but I have to wait maybe a day or two until Amazon approves the final cover, and I just know that you guys are getting the right book right. So if you want to take chances and read early, go ahead. Kindle, you're not taking chances, as I said. If you bought it before, you just do that, or you could just buy it on Kindle now. And even if it does get updated or you didn't get the old one, you'll still get the new one. So, but I know the Kindle looks good. I think it'll be good. I hope you guys will enjoy the book. If you do not enjoy the book, I really need to know. I really do. I really need to know. I really do. If I need to abandon my dream of being an author, this is the book to do it on, not on the next book. This is the book. I think that I wrote that book last year, published it last year. I think I probably put about 2 months into writing it. And then now I've put 2 more months into it. It really is a lot of work to write. I'm probably slower than most writers, to be fair. I'm probably slower. But I was just amazed at how much time it took. Just amazed. And I hope that you will tell me that it's paid off. But more importantly, I hope that you'll just tell me what you think. I really need to know. I really want to see that book either do well, or let's just move me into live streaming. You know, let's not do that. Let's not put James through 4 months of writing, unless it's dopaminergically profitable, right? Do I generate enough dopamine from it? Because it's so much work. It is so much work. It's crazy. So, stay tuned. And a closing on Elon's eye. I hope I've covered Elon's eye, Martin. I hope you guys are down with that. I hope I explained that well. If I didn't, please ask. I'd love to. I will cover this more. I've mentioned some thoughts about Elon before, about how I feel. It's more my reflection of how I feel about other people that are just like, just, it doesn't matter what you say sometimes, but this is why I'm not a doper. I'm not a Lance Armstrong. Elon Musk is a NASA doper. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, that should make sense. Please come to Dojo if you want. Raina, great to see you. Port of Honor, great to see you. Eric C, Mel, Zephyr, Martin, B, good to see you. Yesenia, hi. Discerning Light. All you guys, hope you guys are doing great. We'll see you next time on James True. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let me know what you think in the comments. Give it a thumbs up and take a look ahead.